My wife and son have been shot. They're covered in blood. Paul, Maggie, please. He sounded devastated, broken. Story. Night on a river in South Carolina. A small boat speeding through the dark. Laughter, music, young people coming back from a party. One of them was named Paul Murdaugh, from a powerful, well-connected family. There were 6 people on the boat. Paul had been drinking. Witnesses said he was visibly intoxicated. High speed, a bridge ahead with people standing on it. Then, impact. Bodies thrown, screams, and one girl doesn't come back up. Her name was Mallory Beach. Her body disappeared into the water. Days later, her mother stood on the shoreline screaming, "Give me my daughter back." The greater tragedy unfolded at the hospital. Mallory's mother stood there, terrified, barely breathing, and she saw Alex Murdaugh, the powerful father, walking calmly through the halls in expensive clothes. He wasn't wiping tears, he was wiping away liability. He approached the injured friends. Instead of comforting them, he looked them in the eye and said, "No one opens their mouth. Paul was not driving." Mallory's mother stayed at the shoreline for a week. No sleep, no food, watching as rescue teams pulled her daughter's broken body from the water. Her scream that day shook the entire shore. The Murdaugh family tried to contain the damage, but the press recorded everything. Witnesses spoke, and the truth about who was driving came out. Who were the Murdaughs? Since around 1920, 4 generations of the family had controlled the prosecutor's office in that region. Their name carried fear. Their influence was vast. At the time of the boat crash, the local prosecutor was Duffy Stone, a longtime family friend. After media pressure, the case was transferred to higher authorities. The influence began to weaken. Paul was charged with boating under the influence, causing death. If convicted, he faced years in prison and civil damages worth millions. Estimates suggested $5 to $10 million or more. This was the beginning of the collapse. The central figure? Alex Murdaugh, Paul's father. He had another son, Buster, more reserved, living in another city. The favorite. Alex was a personal injury attorney, the kind of lawyer who handled massive settlements. The firm was a partnership. The investigation later revealed he was funneling client money into a fake company. He stole millions from vulnerable victims, some poor, some sick. His partners didn't know. More than 100 financial charges. People asked, how did no one know? Because he exploited trust. He used fake accounts. Some clients didn't understand the process. The bank eventually grew suspicious. A law partner noticed irregular transfers. The boat crash made the media look closer, and the scandal exploded. 2018, 1 year before the boat crash. The housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, was said to have fallen down the stairs. She died days later. Alex told her sons he would help them get insurance money. The insurance paid nearly $4 million. Her sons never saw it. Alex stole it. Many speculated he pushed her intentionally for the payout. Was that ever proven? No. There is no official evidence of murder. The confirmed crime was financial fraud. Some witnesses later claimed Gloria had told them Paul was sadistic and killed stray animals, but again, no formal charge connected to that. 2015, 4 years before the boat crash. Stephen Smith was found dead on a rural road. Initial report, hit and run, but no clear vehicle impact evidence. Severe head trauma, possibly from blunt force. The scene was near Murdaugh property. Some rumors pointed at Buster. No serious investigation happened at the time. The case was closed. After 2021, it was reopened. Stephen's body was exhumed. To this day, no official suspect, no legal evidence tying the family to it. Only rumors. June 7th, 2021, 10:02 p.m. A 911 dispatcher hears a voice that would shake South Carolina. "Please, hurry. At Moselle, my wife and son have been shot. They're covered in blood. Paul, Maggie, please." He sounded devastated, broken, desperate. When asked if they were breathing, he cried, "No, no breathing. Paul's head, it's destroyed." He immediately suggested a motive. "My son was being threatened because of the boat crash. It must be them." But here's what investigators later found. Moments before the murders, Paul recorded a short video near the dog kennels. In the background, Alex's voice. Alex initially told police he wasn't there. The video proved he was at the scene 4 or 5 minutes before the killings. That changed everything. Paul was shot with a shotgun, Maggie with a rifle, multiple close-range shots. 2 weapons. Prosecutors argued it was staged to suggest multiple attackers. Forensics found gunshot residue, deleted phone data, changing stories, lies about location. Alex admitted lying about being there, but denied the murders. The jury didn't believe him. Then came the roadside shooting. 3 months after the murders,
Alex was disbarred from practicing law in the state of South Carolina. His partners fired him from the firm the very next day. The road was empty. A long rural highway in South Carolina. The sun was setting. The air was still. A black car was parked on the side. The camera moves closer. Alex Murdaugh, standing in front of the vehicle, bent over, his hand on the tire, but he wasn't changing a tire. He was calculating. 3 months had passed since the murder of his wife and son. His law firm discovered he had been stealing. The banks started asking questions. The media was circling. The name he had lived by his entire life was turning into a scandal. He considered himself a lawyer. He understood the law. He understood insurance. If I die, my son gets $10 million. $10 million. It could pay off debts. It could keep his name from completely collapsing. The sound of an engine in the distance. A car slows down, stops behind him. A man steps out. His name? Curtis Edward Smith, an old friend. A man who knew many details. The agreement was clear. 1 bullet. Quick. The end. Alex stood there. He didn't run. He didn't close his eyes. A gunshot. But the bullet didn't enter his brain. It grazed his scalp. Blood, but not death. The moment that was supposed to end everything ended nothing. His voice on 911. Nervous, shaken, but not the voice of a man dying. "Someone shot me." The media grabbed the story. An assassination attempt. But investigators found no evidence of a mysterious attacker. No chase, no witness, no fleeing vehicle. The story began to fall apart. Days later, the confession. He had arranged it himself. But even if he had died, the debts wouldn't have disappeared. The law opens the estate. Creditors make claims. The insurance company could refuse payment. The plan was a gamble, and it failed. He decided to stage his suicide before being arrested. As a lawyer, he knew the end was coming. The evidence was building. He was heading to prison for the rest of his life. He always liked to benefit from anything, so he decided to benefit from his own death. His son would receive the insurance money. He hoped people would sympathize, that the lawsuits would fade, that the family name would be saved. The irony. A man accused of killing his family tries to die to save his son. But instead of creating sympathy, he created deeper suspicion. From that moment, the prosecution understood something. This man is capable of anything. Days after the shooting, he entered a rehabilitation center for opioid addiction. There, he admitted to his lawyers that he hired Curtis Eddie Smith so his son could receive $10 million in insurance money. The verdict. March 2023. Convicted of double murder. Sentence. 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. The boat crash case. Mallory Beach's family received a $15 million settlement. The fortunate sons. An important point. There was no direct evidence like fingerprints on the murder weapon, but the case was based on strong circumstantial evidence, the kennel video recording, repeated lies, financial motive, and the jury concluded that the complete picture proved guilt. The end. A man that controlled the justice system for 100 years fell in 2.
as if a wronged prayer had finally been answered. A boat crash, a housekeeper who died and whose money was stolen, a young man killed on a dark road, his case still open, a wife and son murdered, and the accused? A lawyer who was supposed to protect the law, but the law was the one that judged him. These are real photos of Alex and his family, and this is the house, the crime scene. Follow us and support us with a like and share.